On. If you are in the menopause phase, or as they say, this beautiful transition of life, and you've noticed that not only are you gaining a little extra weight, but it's also impacting your psyche, then this conversation is for you. I am Crystal Taylor, the owner of Fitness is Not a Game. I am your health and wellness consultant who specializes in helping women over 40 lose weight without dieting or exercising for more than 30 minutes at a time. And today we are talking about this disrespectful sucker called menopause. But the reason I want to have this conversation is because I was recently just asked, and drink up if you have your water, about how the weight gain during menopause could impact all of the other stuff during menopause. So let's talk about it. And if you have noticed that you're gaining more weight or you're struggling to lose weight, struggling even harder to lose weight during this time, let me know in the chat. Oh, and if you're here, say hey. But then also let's talk about if you want to share how it impacted your psyche. So most people, especially women, are already struggling with managing our weight. And I'm going to say managing our weight as opposed to focusing on weight loss, right? And because, I don't really deal with the scale too frequently, but it is a real thing, right? That is how most people still manage and determine whether they're doing well or not, right? When we get through menopause, because our hormones are doing all the things, we are naturally gaining more weight. We're naturally gaining more fluff. We are naturally losing more muscle mass. And so that's the thing. Oh, do we get to pull out our handy dandy y'all know I love using these things whenever I get a chance to. If you've been here with me before, type of OG in the chat. If this is your first time, type of one, right? So I love to bring these out because they're real. Okay, these are real visuals of what it looks like. So when we're in menopause, we're gaining more of this, nobody likes that, and losing more of this, right? So the frustration that comes with gaining weight and it looking more like this, because as you can see right now, let's talk about why that's so important. If this is 2 pounds of muscle and this is 2 pounds of fat, you already see the difference. And if you're gaining 2 pounds, if you're gaining 3 pounds, it's gaining in representation of this as opposed to gaining that muscle. So not only are you gaining the weight, you're gaining the inches and you're losing whatever confidence you may have had, right? You're getting more frustrated. You're questioning yourself more often. And so it becomes this battle because your body's going through so much, you don't even understand why it's changing so drastically. You're doing the things you've done before. You're exercising, you're watching what you're eating, and this weight keeps creeping up. Your pants keep getting tighter, you're getting pudgier and pudgier, and you don't know why. It is extremely doggone frustrating. So what can we do? The first thing we have to do is to look here and here, right? We want to run straight to, well, what can I do to lose weight? What can I do to lose weight? It's not that simple, unfortunately. You know, during menopause, there's nothing that makes sense. I'm just going to say that. Let me know if anybody else feels that way. And I'm sure we can have some doctors on here. I'm like, it does make sense, Crystal, because scientifically and medically, this is what's happening with hormones, yada, yada, yada. To the average person, to the average woman like you and me, it doesn't make sense because it looks like overnight we got a whole bunch of push. Let me know if anybody has felt this. Let me know if I'm the only one. Don't leave me out there by myself because I know I felt that way. Before I get into the what we gonna do, I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. So hopefully it's quick. I don't know. But my menopause process has lasted over the years. Oh, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but I got to say this. I don't know if you know this or not, but menopause can last anywhere between 8 to 12 years. Right. Shocker. Cool thing about it, though, and I know somebody just almost passed out, but the cool thing about it is that by the time you realize that you're in menopause or going through a menopause, which is perimenopause, you've typically already been in that process for a while. So it's not like you have to go through all the crazy symptoms for 8 to 12 years, right? But I say that to say that in 2016, almost 9 years, well, 9 years ago, that was the first time I had my therapist actually tell me, you're premenopausal. And I was like, no, I'm not, blah, 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 blah. But then I have a coaching program and I do expert trainings with them every month. And so I asked my resident gynecologist buddy, Dr. Mia Cowan to come speak to my ladies about the struggle of losing weight during and after menopause. And I thought that I was bringing her in to talk to them. And it turns out she was talking to me because now she started talking about all of these other symptoms that were not talked about as frequently. And I'm listening like, ma'am, that's me. That's me. That's me. That's me. So then I go to my doctor and I find out after getting my hormone test that I am indeed perimenopausal. Just like, okay. But prior to that, Dr. Mia, she and I were on vacation, well, at a retreat, and we were at the pool. And she looked at me in my bikini, and I knew I didn't look as good in my bikini as I had before, but I didn't expect her to be like, you in menopause, because I ain't ever seen fat on your belly like that. And I was like, Dr. Mitch, you just called me fat. But she was just saying that, hey, your body is changing because I know you, because I know that you are a trainer, because I know that you watch your food. And I've known you for years. I've never seen your body look like this. This means what I know from my professional experience. That's what Dr. Bill was saying to me, that you're in menopause because your hormones are fluctuating because you're losing muscle mass. So I was going from looking like this to looking like this. And I appreciated her for expressing that concern and encouraging me to really take it seriously. Take it seriously and start doing some research and learning about this thing called menopause. So that's why I tell you this story. So I say let's get into some things we could do. And the first thing is to understand what's going on and get into here, right? Because what I had started doing, and let me know if this is you, I had noticed it. Of course, I noticed it. This is my body. I see it every day. I had noticed that there were changes in my body. And instead of me even considering what menopause could be doing to my body, I started beating myself up and saying, well, girl, you did. Don't y'all judge me, but I'm being honest. I'm being real. You have been enjoying your tequila with pink lemonade. Those are more calories than you typically consumed anyway. So I started thinking of all of these things that I was doing that was causing the changes in my body, not accepting that it was a hormonal thing. Anybody who knows me has been around for a while. I don't mind sharing it. I like a cocktail. I like some wine. We're human. We grown, right? I know, people are like, well, you're a trainer, but yeah, okay, but I'm still a person, right? And I want you all to be able to know that you can still have the things that you enjoy, and it's all about moderation and balance. And I have that. I had that then, but I also had extra fat, right? So understanding and accepting that, it allowed me to stop beating up on myself, because when we beat up on ourselves, that adds extra stress. What stress does, it makes it harder for you to lose weight. And on top of it, it has the nerve to add extra belly fat to your body. Don't nobody have time for none of those things, right? So just that alone, just like, okay, it's not me. It's not me. So I encourage you, if you're noticing that these changes in your body are happening, first of all, stop blaming yourself. Now, that does not mean that you're like, oh, it's just menopause, so I can go eat this and that, and I don't have to care. That's not what I'm saying. Don't you go tell nobody Coach Crystal said that. But what I'm saying is the first thing is to step away from blaming yourself, step away from it, and start looking into what could be done to manage the other menopause symptoms, the hormone fluctuations, so that you are getting at least a little bit closer to where you had been before and where you want to be. Because it can mess you up when you look in the mirror one day and you don't know who you're looking at. Let me know if this has been you. You don't know that body. And when you look at your face, you don't even know who you are here because it's messing with us in so many different ways. Right? Let me know. I cannot be the only one who's experienced this. There was a time, probably a year, 2 years ago, somewhere around there, where I thought I was absolutely going crazy. I had no idea who I was, what was going on with me, why my body was going through so many changes, and I was looking different on top of it. Right? So once I got that information from Dr. Mia, and I started focusing on the things that menopause could do, now it became a matter of, you know what, let's create a plan. How can we attack these things? One thing I did do, and I'm very open and transparent about this, I got some additional help because, like I said, shoot, I'm a trainer. I work out 6 days a week. I monitor what I eat, drink a gang of water. So at that point, for me, it was not necessarily about lifestyle. So I did have to get some, and I take supplements. I'm taking all the things, because this brain fog, child, ginkgo biloba, turmeric, probiotics, black seed oil, all these things, right? But my body was still doing what it wanted to do because it turns out that my testosterone was low. So for me, I personally needed some hormone replacement for testosterone. And that helped me start to rebuild my muscle mass and burn my fat again because my body was naturally going through its own transitions. Right? So don't beat yourself up. But during that time, it's not like I got the hormone replacement and my body snapped back like that. Right? It wasn't overnight, just like these diets and workouts y'all trying to do overnight to get you right back snatched. It ain't gonna work overnight. It's still a process, still took time. But then I started noticing, okay, at least my workouts are working now, because there were a time where there was a time when I felt like they were not working. I was like, what the heck? Like I am smashing these workouts, feeling good, but looking in the mirror like, nah, sis, this ain't it. Right? This ain't it. So what I had to start doing, and what I encourage you to do, is when you're going through these, get whatever assistance you need. It could be what you're eating. It could be your lack of sleep. It could be your lack of movement, because now maybe you are tired, you're fatigued more, so you don't have the energy, right? It could be all of those things, but assess and honestly assess what those changes could be. And in addition to that, go to your medical provider, have this conversation with them, and have your hormone levels checked, right? But in the meantime, as you're figuring it out, this is what I encourage y'all to do. Stop acting like, and you're going to pick up what I put down, hopefully. Stop acting like who you is who you was. Stop acting like who you is who you was. You may have to adjust what you wear during that time. Now we may have to make adjustments to find clothes, to wear the clothes more frequently that are more flattering during that moment. Because what we don't want to do is put on something, look in the mirror and be like, ugh, we're already beating ourselves up as it is, right? But keep exercising, keep moving, keep drinking water, keep being mindful of what you're eating, removing those, or reducing, I should say, those foods that could exacerbate your menopause symptoms, right? Being mindful of how much wine you drink. I already told you I like wine, but I have to be mindful of it because they can make your hot flashes worse. They can. Your extra sugars, your processed foods, those things could be causing problems, right? But just being mindful of those things. And then saying, you know what, I'm going to wear something that is flattering to me. And I'll tell y'all this. Oh, when I say flattering, that does not mean to put on a tent. Man, we could have a whole conversation about that. And I need to get my girl on here to have that conversation with y'all too. But when you feel like things are changing, stop trying to hide under these bigger clothes, because the bigger clothes make you look bigger, right? But it's really about being honest about how the clothes fit on you so that you do feel confident and comfortable, right? As opposed to trying to make yourself feel as if you were, or that you are where you were. But trust the process. Trust the process, but you have to do the process too. We can't wish for it. We have to work for it, because what we're going through now is different. So we can't continue to do what we had done before. When you reach that plateau and you realize that that weight is creeping back up, or those inches are creeping back up, that's when it's time for you to switch things out. Especially if your doctor says, oh, no, your hormones aren't completely thrown off like mine were, right? Because even with the hormones, you heard me say with the hormones, I still had to modify my workouts and what I was eating. Don't think that whatever you get over the counter or prescription or whatever is going to fix and change it all. And we are not going to talk about these diabetes medications that people are taking to lose weight. Lord, Lord, Lord. You still have to do some work. So what I encourage you to do, maybe you need to increase your water. The water is going to help you feel fuller longer. It's going to help you digest your food better. It's going to keep that skin clear, right? It's going to help to detox your body. All of those things that you need. What else you should do? Be mindful of what you're eating. Eat those anti-inflammatory foods so that you don't feel as bloated, because that's what you can feel during this time. Move your body 30 minutes a day. It does not have to be an excessive and crazy workout. It could be anything that you enjoy. The weather is breaking. Go outside and take advantage of it. Go walk, dance, skate, ride a bike, go swimming, play pickleball, play basketball, play volleyball. Do all the things that you enjoy. That's just moving your body. And you don't have to do it for crazy amounts of time. All you need is 30 minutes a day. That's it. And they don't even have to be 30 continuous minutes. They don't. And the more you move, the more you focus on the habits of moving your body, you're going to notice that your body is going to naturally change. I want you to understand something, sis. The scale may or may not move during this time. It may not. But if you notice that your clothes are fitting better, that you're losing inches, that means that you are burning fat and building muscle, and that is what you want. The scale means nothing during this time. I want you to focus on your health, because what I know is that when you look in the mirror and you see that those positive changes are happening that you've been working for, it builds your confidence level. And you want to start doing the things and you start feeling like yourself again, so that you don't feel like you're hiding. This is not the time for us to stop. This is not the time for us to shut down, because we want to, because we're frustrated. We're not sure what's happening. Our body is looking different and we think it looks crazy. Sometimes it's embarrassing. But this is not the time to run away from it. This is the time for you to dig your heels in and say, okay, what workouts can I do? What movement do I enjoy? Do I like working in my yard? What types of foods can I incorporate into my diet that I actually enjoy, but are going to get me closer to my goal? All right. But with this, when we talk about our goals, I want you to set a goal that's realistic and it's really a goal. Don't talk about those pounds that you want to lose. And even if let me back up. I'm not a fan of the scale, but I know that some of you are. That is something that motivates you. At the end of the day, I want you to be motivated. Even though I keep telling you the scale may or may not move. It may or may not move. But if you are focused on the scale, set a realistic goal. How about we just work on 1 pound a week? But even with that, Step back some. Even if you set a pound goal, step back and ask yourself, what do I need to do to achieve this without doing anything drastic, right? Do you need to drink more water? Do you need to move your body more? Do you need to reduce how frequently you order food in and increase how frequently you cook, right? Ask yourself, and then those are your goals. I want you to focus on those. Your goals, the strategies to get to your goals should be your goal. Meaning, I need to sleep at least 7 hours. That's your goal. Focus on the 7 hours. I need to drink at least 80 ounces of water. That's your goal, drinking 80 ounces of water. I need to make sure I get at least 9,000 steps in. That's your goal. When you focus on those habits, you'll see that the results the goal that you thought was your original goal, it will start to come into fruition. And each time you reach a goal, each time you drink that 80 ounces, each time you sleep 7 hours, each time you move for 30 minutes, you are achieving a goal and you're giving yourself a win. And each time you do that, that boosts your confidence because you're telling yourself, you know what, even though my body is looking a little different, I can still do this. The more you get results, the more addictive it becomes. And I do mean the results of drinking the water, sleeping, all of that. And the more likely you are to stick with it. Okay. So I do want you to know that the old you is still there. As a matter of fact, let the old you go on somewhere. Find that newer you, this new perimenopausal you. Because even though this time can be frustrating, as they say, the best times are after we're done. So there's something beautiful on the horizon, but you just got to stick with it. All right. So don't quit, sis. You got this. You are still there. It's just it's like you're in the cocoon phase right now, right? This other side of this butterfly is coming out. All right. And some of us may look like we are wrapped, feel like we look like we wrapped in the cocoon, right? And that's okay. That's okay because on the other side of it's going to be something even more beautiful. So you will find you will get that confidence back, but just hang in there. So I'm gonna let y'all go. I just want to jump on real quick because that was just hitting my head because that conversation we had yesterday about the lack of confidence during menopause, especially when it comes to the gaining weight. Um, and it's hard. It's hard. So if you got something out of this, put a 100 in the chat. If you thought it was helpful, make sure you're sharing it with somebody else who could use this information. And then also I'm having a training next week. So make sure you join me so we can talk about the other things that make us feel like we're going crazy during menopause, but we're really not. Because I'm gonna give you 5 facts about menopause that you didn't know that can help you feel more empowered. Just go to losemenopauseweight.com and I will see you there. So y'all have a good one. Keep drinking your water. And if you have to go out in these streets, please be safe because I just want you healthy. I want you happy and I want you here. All right, y'all.